Okay, hi, so today I'm going to try to teach people how to play Myrmes. This is a fascinating game, and I don't see a lot of commentary or videos or anything so far, and it doesn't seem to get a lot of notice of some of the other big games for some reason, although I actually find it to be superior to most of the popular games that are out there, so maybe this video will help. Anyway, this will actually be a series of videos mostly focused on how to play the game. Not exactly a review or strategy, just physically how to play. So this section is on the initial setup and walking through the player board and just the overview of what the game is. So Myrmes is a game about ants. You are your own ant, each person is their own ant colony, and you're trying to make the best colony at the end of the game. It's a point-driven game, and it is not a direct conflict game. There's no fighting ants or anything like that, although there is some blocking. It's basically worker placement, although that does occur at 2 levels. So let's get into the overall boards and setup. As you can see, and apologize for the shaky camera, you have a large all-player board. So this is a whole board. All players will be playing on this board if they take certain actions, and then each player will have their own personal player board, which is their personal ant colony mound, if you will. This is under the earth, and then the large board is when they come out and they're on the ground. So let's talk about the setup. The setup of the board is good. You have a couple areas that go on. In the main board, we have bugs that need to be pushed down, exit holes, and then bonus tiles, and then the seasonal dice and the year marker. So each one of those in turn then. So when you set up the board initially, you basically randomize bug. There are 3 bug types. There's a ladybug, I forget what that middle bug is, and then a spider. Anyway, you have these little tiles, and you just flip them over, and you put them where you see the bug icons, and there are many around. And then once they've been randomized, you can flip them over. Use whatever methodology you like there. And then also there are these bonus tiles, which are blue, purple, and orange. There are several of each in the box that you get, and you shuffle them up, randomize, and pick 2 of each color and place them down left to right, blue, purple, orange. It doesn't matter top to bottom for that. And that part is set up. Those will be your bonus points for the whole game. And then the other thing to note is this board is fantastic because it scales itself between 2, 3, or 4 players, depending on this black line, which may be hard to see. So if you're playing a 2-player game, you actually only play on half the board down here. And a 3-player game, it's these outside black lines will then shrink the board, if you will, and a 4-player game is all of them. Also note that, zoom in here close, you see these are your exit holes. Each color has some of these. And you see the symbol for 3 dots is 3 players, 4 players, and then down here would be 2 or 4 players would go there. And that's how you would that's how you decide your starting place. So we'll assume this is set up for a 4-player game. Yellow is going to be here, red will be over here, and then other colors would be down here. But just for example, I'm just going to use those 2. The next thing is the dice. You have 3 dice, 1 for each season. 3 seasons per year, and then a winter feeding, and then you just roll the dice and you set them up here, and there you are. And then but there's an actual marker that came with the game. I've lost it, but anyway, you can put anything on here to designate year and year 1, and that is how you set up the main board. Then each player has their own player board, which is here, and you set this up. You're starting. Is that you have 3 nurses, that's these hexagon pieces, 1 larva, which is a white cube, 2 workers, which are little ants, and 1 technology disc, which goes up here on technology level 0, and then 1 of your color cube. Everybody has a cube, and you will put this according to the die that was rolled, and in this case it was a 4, and so we would put that on 4. And that's just how you start up the game there. Someone, I think it's available on the Geek, made a handy-dandy player aid. This thing is fantastic, and it tells you pretty much everything as well. I'm just going to zoom around. So that's nice if you have that available. If not, I encourage you to print that out. It's quite handy. And so that's the overview of the game. Things will go around in order, and some actions will happen down here, some actions will happen out on the board, and then each turn completes. So there's a tarn season. You'll hear that term interchangeably. There's 3 seasons per year, and then a winter feed, which nothing happens but the feeding, and then there are 3 years. So basically you get 9 action turns, if you will, and 3 feeding stops for the whole game, and that's it. So that's the initial overview and setup.